and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah, I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way. What am I knitting today? Well, actually I'm not knitting, I'm sewing again. I have finished making this hat. I've done a lovely contrast seam at the top, there's a seam at the back, and I want to sew 2 buttons into the top corners just as a feature. So I have found some yarn. This is super chunky that I've knitted with, so I've found yarn that is the same colour, but it is Aran or worsted weight yarn instead of super chunky. If I was trying to sew on buttons with super chunky yarn, my needle would get stuck. Very simply, it just would not manage to get through the holes here, and very simply, I might be able to do a single stitch, but it wouldn't really hold on for very long. Now, there is an option where I could use more buttons and have one on each corner, and so the buttons are holding each other on. So I would have one showing at the back and one showing at the front, but I'm going to have just one showing on each corner in the front. Let me show you how I would sew that on then. So first of all, I'm going to secure this yarn on the inside. I'm just going to weave it in a few of these stitches, make sure it's not going to come loose, and I'm mainly going to do that through the seam up the top here. You can see the inside of my grey stitches there, as it's just a contrast at the top to make it more interesting, and the grey stitches at the top also match the buttons, of course. So right here at the top, I'm just going to now come through and decide where I want this button. So it's going to be in this top corner. I'm going to sew that on there. So I'm now going to bring my needle through here, and the first stitch can come through that hole there. There you go. Now I do want the stitches to go all the way through. The whole idea of these buttons is it's not just only a decorative feature, but it's actually holding these top corners together so that it looks, you get more of a rounded crown shape like you would do in a normal hat, but when it's completed you'll have that little bit more of a shape as you wear it. It's less likely to feel loose like you do with a square cornered hat. So I'm going to go all the way through to the other side of the fabric, the other side of the hat here. I'm just going to find a place where these stitches can be indiscreet. This is why I've chosen yarn that is the same colour as the hat colour. I have the fuchsia pink in the super chunky, and now I'm using a fuchsia pink to sew on the button. There you go. It's just a few stitches, it's as simple as that. I'm going up and through, going through the back, coming through in the right hand hole again, and back through there. I'm going to do that a few more times, and you can see that it's really not showing at the back. It's the same colour thread, it's just keeping that shape. There you go. That's really showing very little. And now I've done a couple more stitches, I'm going to pull this needle through to the back again. There you go, that's as simple as it gets. And I can secure that thread in the top seam again, just with a little slip knot. So I've got a loop there, I'm just going to bring that needle through that loop. I'll do that one more time, through there, and then through the loop. There you go. And I'll just weave that yarn through the seam just to finish off, and I can sew that up there, cut the thread, and that's the first button done. So I'll now do the second button exactly the same way, up at the top here. And just to be sure to let you know that I'm using a tapestry needle, which means it has a larger hole, the yarn will fit through it, and it's blunt. by using a tapestry needle or what it can also be called a knitter's sewing needle. It's a blunted end, so it's easy to tear the thread if you don't have a blunt end needle. If you have a sharp end, then as you're sewing, then you may well tear the knitted fabric that you've already created, and that will just mean that it's wearing sooner. If you have a blunt needle, then you're not going to do that. There you go, that's the top right hand corner already finished. I'm going to do the other button and I'll say goodbye then. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to put this pattern up on the website once it's all finished, and I know that you can see a lot more patterns there obviously as well. So go and have a look, have a rummage through the patterns there, knitwithhannah.co.uk/patterns. I'd love to see what you find, and of course I'd love to see anything that you make with those patterns as well. Right, thank you. I hope that's been helpful. Bye for now. Happy knitting.